Yeep. Anyway, try this again. My camera just just restarted on me. But ancient America, type, historical biblical connections. It's like, I was watching this Paul Begley video about these copper scrolls. And, there's a theory that the Bronze Age was fueled by copper from the United States. Mined here out of Michigan, basically up north. And, it's pretty, it seems quite plausible. So it would have took a large force of people, or like a network of sailors and miners, probably a long time to do that. So it's like covered up, man, that there was ancient like migration of the sea, basically, even on small craft. I mean, the Vikings, their ships weren't very big and they navigated the sea many times, so it can be done. And it said that in Second Ezra that this journey was so far it would take a year and a half or something like that straight. And that's a long journey. I bet you could calculate from over there in Babylon the time it would take to get to the river and then get to the sea on a small vessel. You know what I mean? All the Polynesians that inhabit the islands there, they came over on boats. But have you ever looked at the word Brazil and Israel and like how close they are in similarity? But I seen this one video where they're talking about that they found a plaque there and it had Paleo Hebrew on it, and it was this guy, the king of Tyre, and he was basically commissioned by Solomon to come get iron from that area. So I mean, and what's crazy about it is this too. So it's like, what did they trade to get this iron? Well, or even they said that, it said that Solomon, like in, I think not Proverbs, but Ecclesiastes, he says, I made me many great pools of water. And basically, this is hidden too, that they knew how to build a dam in the mountain, dam up a stream, and they would make a little creek to the grove or whatever, down mountain, downstream. Like they would redirect the water, so they had waterworks. And this is something Solomon had. And, when the Greeks came in and, they hid this information, and then the Romans stole it from them and hid this information, that they knew how to do this stuff all along. Like, it's not necessarily rocket science, but, it takes a lot of, prep work, and you got to have some pull to get that done. But so it's like there's this, if you ever listen to this Testament of Issachar, and it's like, it says he was an agricultural, like, basically expert. You know what I mean? And he lived a pretty good life, basically, what it said, just because he just farmed, minded his own business, and just did what was right. You know what I mean? And what's funny is that this, if you look back at the Mayans and the older inhabitants there, because I wouldn't even say original, because look, it seems to me like it's nothing new under the sun, and we're all just migrants. Our ethnic background, like, sometimes we've already been there and back again, and we don't even know it. And the scripture, the gospel says that you got to reach the scattered tribes that are scattered abroad. You know what I mean? That's like, some people just like don't take that literal. They think that's some kind of like allegory. But it's for a reason. Like the book of James, he starts off, greetings to ye 12 tribes scattered abroad. So it's like, it's in there, and it's true. If you just start just doing a little research, it's like even more crazy than you ever really freaking knew. But They also see the connection too on this, that copper scroll and the hidden recipe for the balm of Gilead. He talked about these Mayans had this technique of building these certain rooms that at a certain day it would glow blue. And he said also this cave over there that had this hidden stuff in it would glow blue, but all the time it was like a natural cave. You know what I'm saying? That's a loose connection, but look, it's like I've heard them say that the inhabitants of Mexico, modern Mexico, are Ishakar, and it's like if you look at the prophecy in Genesis 49 about being the ass crouched between two burdens, and it's like basically they're used as labor, like cheap slave labor, human traffic. They're actually slaves now, like in the Bible times, like in Egypt. You know what I mean? Even now, and they brought. It's like anyone who can build a pyramid, there's a potentiality maybe them people came out of Egypt. You know what I mean? And then at some time Israel came out of Egypt, like Issachar's sons were there. You know what I'm saying? For instance, you know, you got the whole story of Joseph, which was an agricultural thing, and he was in charge of all that. So I'm sure when the brothers were reconnected, everyone probably got good little assignments. You know what I mean? Where you would be able to practice these such things. You know, where you learn how to do mass agriculture, learn how to do terraces, learn how to you know, literally do the landscaping. And you got the Southwest Indians also knew this redirect the rivers thing, and could they have learned from the Mexicans or the Mexican Indians? Who knows? Or did it travel instead of going south to north, or did it go north to south? Who knows? But it's crazy. You know, you got you know, this. You ever look at the name of the dude, one of their like kind of like deities? His name was Kublai Khan, right? And you look at, I mean, that sounds really similar to Genghis Khan, Kublai Khan. Anyway, and the Ku Klux Klan, Kublai Khan, Ku Klux Klan, okay? Ku Klux Klan, these guys are saying they're the master race. You know what I'm saying? Basically, you got like Raza, you got these Mexican dudes, these hardcore thug life, mafia, Rasa dudes, and they believe that they're the master race, right? And then you got these white dudes that think they're the master race. And the dude Kublai Khan was the shimmering, shining serpent, right? And the leader of the gang, the Ku Klux Klan, is called the Dragon, the Grand Dragon, right? So it's like there's a freaking definite dead ringer, bang bang connection there, where it's like the devil, the snake, the deceiver, goes and tells every person the same freaking lie. You know what I'm saying? And look, and just switches the words around a little bit, and the people are so wrapped up in it, and they're so full of pride that they don't just wait a second. Have I ever just wrote all this stuff down on paper and looked at it on each side and seen how similar it is? Is like, wait a second. How can this be possible here? Look, let me go back and research my notes. You know what I mean? Wait a second. I gotta go talk to my, my chapter leader or whatever, dude. It's like, yeah, man. It's like if you just really start, poking holes at this thing, freaking, it's really flimsy. It's a flimsy illusion. Kind of like, people get all hyped up and swept up in this Egyptology stuff. But if you really sit back and look at it, it's like, for some guy's ego, so he could be cool, so he could be remembered, so he could, fancy himself as immortalized, enslaved like all kinds of freaking people. Like, basically, micromanage everyone to cater to your own narcissistic, egotistical, egomaniacal, antichrist. That's what an antichrist is someone who wants to be like a Caesar, the Godfather, the CEO, the president. It's like it says what a man gain the world and lose his soul. It's that very thing. It's like when you look at the Egyptology stuff and they idolize these people, the works of their hands. And it's like, but I remember reading an account of the pharaoh, one of these pharaohs who built one of these pyramids. He actually would pimp out his daughter for everyone who brought, like a ton, 5-ton stone or whatever, gets her on the house for the night. You know what I mean? And it's like that. That's what this is about. You will sacrifice your daughter's, stuff for material for your building project. Now, you know what I'm saying? It's like the dude was very successful, but at what cost? You know what I mean? It should turn your guts a little bit. That's the what it boils down to is over some narcissistic, like, ego trip, like, you sacrifice the human traffic your own daughter. You know what I mean? Basically, or consign her out, as a prostitute. And there really isn't nothing new under the sun. And this is how big business operates now. You know what I mean? But it's always been that way. And, same thing, enslave people, steal their resources so you can build some fancy temple made out of marble, to fallen angels. And sometimes outright made up imaginary things as well, right up alongside of, actual, look, those are fallen angels that they worship over there in those pagan temples. Like, legit. It's freaking crazy. But you can follow this stuff around and you can see the similarities. And it's like, you find Egyptian mummies with cocaine in them and tobacco. And it only comes in corn, stuff like that. It's like, how in the heck did they get this? Oh, they had a time machine. No, there was just trade routes. And it was like, they're just covering that up. You look at South American people and some of them look Asian. It's really weird. It seems like was multiple migrations of people here, and there's little footnotes left out there. It's like, but I'm wondering if, because maybe it says that the Greeks, the Greeks and the Babylonians got sold Hebrew slaves, which Hebrew just means of the 12 tribes, not a Jew. Look, a Jew's a Hebrew, but a Hebrew isn't necessarily a Jew. You know what I'm saying? And that's what people are really got a misconception about this these days. But hey, in time all will be revealed. Everything hidden shall be revealed. You know what I'm saying? This was the hidden land. That's what it was called in 2nd Ezra's. And it's like, did the slaves, like maybe they brought Hebrews here to mine the freaking copper mines. And then on the escape plan, maybe old guys, he was dying. You know what I'm saying? He passed along the route to like one of his kids in a code. And then one day they conspired and they left. You know what I'm saying? It was like, because they weren't like, it wasn't like the runaway slave days. It's kind of like you take someone way out in the middle of nowhere and there's nowhere to run to, unless you're going to go and keep going. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how it was. And it's like, you're just going to sit there until we let you leave, basically. And then you're going to do our bidding too if you don't want any trouble. It's kind of like one of those type of things. It's kind of like, that's what it seems like what happened to some of the people during when the 9 tribes went into captivity. So it's like, look, there's 9 tribes unaccounted for. You know what I'm saying? And it says that one of the prophecies is the gospel must be preached to the 12 tribes, or to all the kindreds and tongues and peoples and languages across the entire planet, to the 4 corners of the earth, to where the 12 tribes were scattered in the first place. So it's like maybe that was intentional for that purpose. You know what I'm saying? Kind of. It's quite remarkable. It's an awesome freaking. It's awesome. Not only is it true, but it's pretty fun. Like, look, it gives you a lot of hobbies to like leads to track down, keep you busy.